Thank you so much, Alex, for speaking with me today. I really appreciate it, man. Before we get into it, how are you doing, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Sorry, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. In this post-show environment, mainly what I'm doing now is just talking to you guys, the press, and all of y'all out there, the fans, and just trying to really fill in the gaps in anything I couldn't talk about before, and set us all up for a post-show world.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, how does it feel that now everyone has now seen? Because before you've been like leading up to it, but you can't really talk about it. But now that it's out, do you have a different feeling like, oh, it's out there now? Like now everyone knows the conclusion. Like, how does it feel?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because you keep it in for so long. And also, we went through so many different versions of an ending that it's sometimes in my mind, because I still haven't seen the ending. We're actually going to all come together and watch it a week after the fact in a couple of days in LA.
Oh.
All the whole cast. And I wanted to wait till I was with everyone to see it. So I have to keep it straight in my mind, which ones we're using and all of that kind of stuff. How about yourself? What did it feel like actually watching the ending? Did it feel like a culmination of 4 years of work? Did we do a good job in that?
I think you guys did perfect. I think having the actual 32-year time jump and kind of seeing older Jordan, older Jonathan, and obviously seeing the suits, you guys flying together, it was so emotional. And when Jordan and Jonathan opened that door for Lois to be standing there for Clark at the end, I mean, I was crying, man. I couldn't hold it in anymore.
I was crying filming it. It was our last scene we ever filmed on the show as well. A lot of times we film out of order, but we saved the last for the last, and it was pretty special. It was. I was back there with all the executives that came up from LA, and it was intrepid. And I'm actually going to do a post on Instagram, little spoiler alert for everyone, about all the people involved in the show, including that big picture of all the executives. So I'm really anxious to see it, to be quite honest. I've heard only good things. Rotten Tomatoes had it at 100%, and they did an article about how it was the perfect ending. And so most of all, I'm really just grateful to have worked with such a group of people that I got to be a part of a great ending like that. I'm just internally grateful.
Yeah, I know you've done past interviews before where you've discussed that there were so many changes in terms of you had plans to go 5, 6, 7 seasons. Like you guys had plans, or at least the hope. And I think you guys did a perfect job of finding a way to give this season the impact that the previous seasons have had, but knowing it's coming to an end. And I round of applause to everybody, because I think you all delivered something special. Really do.
Thank you, man. And round of applause to all the fans that stuck with us, who are intrepid in keeping up with when the show was airing, all the delays that happened, especially season 1 and 2, when it was just seemed to be airing on a different day every single week.
Yeah.
And sticking with it as we had every challenge known to man in terms of production. I mean, when you think about it, absolutely everything that could have gone wrong, except the people working really hard, went wrong.
Yeah.
We had not only a pandemic in the middle of it, once in a century thing. I know we're all used to hearing about the pandemic, so screw that. But that was a 2-3 year thing for us. We were the last industry to really come out of that. But we also had all the strikes.
Yeah,
that kept us down. Obviously a major recast. And more than that, we were all up there in Canada when the show was American during all this. So we were far away from home. Yeah. And the base of operations was really far from, the actual what was going on the ground. So it was just really, really interesting. And I want to commemorate all the fans for sticking with us for so long. I know every time I meet one of the fans, they always seem so enthusiastic for this show. They always talk about how, oh man, I wish more people discovered this because I love it so much. And I have to say that even though I think it deserves a larger audience, and I think it will get that, I do predict that it will get one. I really thank all the people that have been there since day one and have been spreading word of mouth of the show, because that's really how the show survived for so long.
Yeah, because the people were supporting it and spreading out. I think even Bitsy posted about how it's in the top 10 in HBO Max Brazil. Like
it's number one right now in
yeah,
Brazil. Number
yeah.
one in Brazil. It's unbelievable. And also, well, Brazil speaks Portuguese, but I actually I'm friends now with the guy who does my voice in the Spanish broadcast. I think him and I might do something together. Believe it or not, he also does Timothy Chalamet's voice.
Oh, really?
Chalamet's an incredible actor with an incredible career, with a very similar life path to mine. So I only hope to follow in his footsteps. He actually went to my high school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's like, I think, he's like 10 years older than me, maybe a little less. So he was there before I was. But it's pretty incredible to think that they hired the same person to do both of us.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And I want to thank anyone also. So sorry, I really want to thank anyone and everyone who translated the show and put it out to that audience. I know a lot of people also still watch in English in those countries, but it wouldn't have survived without the dubbing and the subbing that really made it such a big hit. Where our main base is. Crazily enough, it seems to have exploded more in everywhere but America than America.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty incredible revelation given the fact it's a show about Superman in Kansas. So it just shows how much this symbol is universal and how well the people did internationally with distributing the show.
100%, because it's all that extra work because you're trying to reach as a big audience as you can. So all that extra work does really help. And like I said, it's number one in Brazil. So like that means something. Like people are like tuning in and checking out the show. Like that's really important. For sure.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
I have to ask because I noticed you cut your hair. The Jordan hair, like, how did you feel about Jordan having the longer hair? Because I mean, that was a look, and honestly, I liked it. I liked the fact that Jonathan had shorter hair and you had the longer, hair.
I liked it because that was the hair I went into it with. Like that was the hair in my audition room. My hair is naturally curly, so this is the chemicals. This is a man-made horror beyond our comprehension. This is what the Unabomber didn't want. All right. So the curls, they were my natural hair. I was happy to have them, although I was begging my boss to cut them for a little while, just because eventually I got tired of it. It gets messy, and in the off season, I didn't know if I should cut it or not, so I just let it grow long and long and long. In fact, you can see pictures of me, I'm sure, online where I have super long hair. And as soon as I cut my hair, I seem to be getting a lot of positive feedback. And now I look at old pictures of myself. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should have cut it between seasons at very least. It's a new era. It's a new me. And I'm excited for whatever this next chapter brings because I think the hair is like makeup for men, I hear.
Yeah,
it might open some doors.
And beards too. Yeah, beards the makeup. Beards. Yeah.
I can't grow a beard. I need tips.
Oh.
I need your genetics.
Yeah, I don't know how I got my genetics. I don't even know. I think my grandfather gave it to me. I think that's where I got it. So
believe it or not, my mother's father, very hairy man. My father, very hairy man. My brother and I, very hairless.
Wow.
What happened to that? All the men in the family.
Skip a generation. It seems like I don't know.
It skipped every It's That's what happens. It skips a generation.
Yeah. I wanted to ask about Jordan specifically because I love the arc he went on because at the start he was, very like socially awkward. He had panic attacks and I think he really grew into his own and he really I think explored his character so well. How did you feel about the growth of him over time as you were playing him and seeing as he was growing through a relationship and his family? Right. Like, how did you feel about that?
I loved it. The thing is that when I was growing up, I didn't want to be Leo DiCaprio. I wanted to be Bryan Cranston. I wanted to take a character over time and develop them in real time in front of everyone's eyes. I thought that was a really powerful, powerful thing to do. And then lo and behold, I get Superman and Lois, and I get the character that really gets to change the most over the course of the 4 seasons. I mean, some would argue also John Henry and Natalie.
Yeah.
Jonathan also, but in a more subtle way, I think.
Yeah.
Him getting powers and being alone in that, I think taught him discipline. But I think most of all, you see his development in episode 409, that beautiful scene Jay Jameson wrote, where he's calming someone down from panic attack. I think it takes someone understanding the darkness inside people to really know how to bring them back to the light. I really appreciate that about the character. I really had a fun time playing it, and it felt like one of the greatest honors of playing Jordan.
Now you said you haven't seen the episode yet, but I'm assuming you've seen the photos of you in your suit, like this, and I think that's like one of the highlights, in my opinion, is the flying scene with you as Jordan, Jonathan, Natalie, and then the steel accurate costume and your dad, Superman. It was amazing. It's one of the best moments of the show, in my opinion. It's so good.
You know what though? It's crazy because they never built those, right?
Yeah.
They never built those. There was a black leotard that I had on. And I actually already told this story, but it's so funny. I'll tell it again.
Okay.
So they had me in skin-tight black leotard. And then in order to get up on the harness, they attach it at your hips.
Yeah.
And so you have to put a harness on and, lift all your parts and put the harness underneath it. So your parts are sticking out.
Yeah.
In this black leotard. And, you're with these people for 4 years. I mean, these people, I felt like they changed my diaper already. So, like, you get used to it. You have no shame or modesty when you're an actor. I mean, you do because the costume department works really hard too, but there are certain times that even the costume department can't save you, right? It's just the way of the show. I walk out there, though, and for the first time in 4 years, all the executives from LA are all there.
Yeah.
And they're all like, wow, I did such a good job. I'm like, hi, guys. It was so I don't think they noticed, but I noticed. It was awkward. It was something, man. So I can't wait to see it on screen so I can forget all about what happened off screen.
Yeah, it's beautiful the way it's shot because the camera pulls back and you're there flying. And honestly, I love the suit that you got, and I love Jonathan as well. Like I love seeing the kind of comic looking accurate suits they kind of pulled from, and how both Jordan and Johnson's suits is kind of connected in a sense to Superman's, but enough difference to where it's your own. And I wish we could have seen more of that. I really do.
Katrina McCarthy did a fucking phenomenal job when it came to the costumes. I know people hold a lot more in this show, more than almost any other show you'll ever do. This show, people hold a lot of value in those costumes. I mean, Superman iconography, you don't kind of get wrong. So to see so many people so happy in the pilot with the Fletcher suit, see so many people happy with our suits, the season 4 Resurrection suit, it makes me really happy because it means that it's one of those rare opportunities that a department on set can really flex their muscles and the fans can appreciate it for what it is. That's not very often. A lot of times people just focus on the actors or the writers or this and that. So I'm happy that I worked on a show where costumes and stunts could get featured so well.
Now you were talking earlier about all the changes you guys made in terms of the finale. So obviously, obviously you haven't seen the episode, so you don't know exactly what they kept or what they didn't. But how did you feel when you read that Jordan and Jonathan age up and they become adults in that kind of flash forward sequence?
Right.
Yeah.
So I heard about this season 3, and I'll tell this story another time, a couple months removed from the show ending. Okay. I think because there was another plan for what the character was, and I would love to share that with everyone. I keep teasing on all these interviews, but there was another version of it, and they had to tell me that version wasn't happening, and part of it was that you grow old, and I thought it was a really beautiful thing. Quite honestly, as an actor, look, there are a lot of selfish actors. I hope I'm not one of them. I hope I behave in a way that is not conducive to people thinking that. I don't think I do. To me, I just think it's about the greater picture. And I was just really happy they painted such a beautiful picture, even if my little color wasn't in it as much as originally thought. So I was happy with it. It was also cool meeting my older self.
Cool.
Foley played Michael older. And they had this awesome guy, and I forget his name. He's from Montreal, really sweet guy, play older me. A handsome guy. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's what I'm going to look like.
Yeah.
That's me. Giga Chad.
Yeah, exactly.
My theory is that Jordan had 9 of those kids and that Jonathan had none. And Jordan's
really?
kids are all from a different mother. Every single 9 of them from different. He's living like a full NBA star life.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like he's going off full athlete. He's He's Jordan Brady. I don't know. I don't know if that happened with Tom Brady. I actually have no idea. I have nothing. I have no knowledge of sports.
There was someone who commented and they posted a photo of the 9 kids and they said, "I love how in later in life Jonathan Jordan didn't learn what a condom was," and that was their explanation why there's so many kids.
Hey! They learned what a condom was, but do you know the velocity of a
This is true. Half Kryptonian.
What's going on down there? I mean, come on.
That's true.
The superpowers, they're not just superpowers to be useful. These are mutations from our yellow sun. It makes everything stronger.
Exactly.
We're lucky Lois survived.
That's a fair point because they don't ever address that in the comics. You think they should?
Yeah, they really should. They really should. If someone wanted to get fired, she should address that. They
should. I don't know why.
It's going to become public domain not too long from now, right?
Yeah.
Steamboat Willie was not that far behind Superman.
Yeah. You know they're going to announce a Superman horror movie when it goes into public domain, though.
When
you know
it's going to happen. Domain, I'll be the first one to make it.
Please do. I would love that. That'd be awesome.
Maybe that's my next move in superhero space because I know that it'd be a little convoluted. I don't know what would happen. People ask me if I have another role in the DCU. As of now, I don't. I don't know if that would be something in the vision of everyone to have any reminder of this show, considering that it was doing really well, and I think they really want to separate from the old. The old, I think, started working its best in our show.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want a reminder that it could have worked so well.
I mean, my hope is that maybe because James Gunn said he likes to do Elseworld stuff. I would love a revival or something, or maybe like a mini series revival or something to kind of see where you guys are years later. I'm just saying, I think there's possibilities, but then again, they did the 32-year time jump, but I still think there's plenty of stories because we don't know what happens really. We know they grow old, but we don't know what exactly happens. Like how does Jonathan and Jordan cope with the taking on fighting and being more active as Supermen,
Right. I agree. So I would love to see what happens there. Who knows what the future is when it comes to Jonathan and Jordan? I'm leaving it open for now. I'm sure Michael Bishop has similar opinions all the way down there in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Far away.
Far away. Yes, well. Exactly. Yeah. How did you feel about Jordan getting powers first over Jonathan? Because did you find that out in the script, or did you hear about this before the script?
I found that out in the audition.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I found that out really early when I was on my plane over to. I didn't know what the character was when I was on my plane over to the screen test. When I still didn't even have the role, I found out about Jordan and Jonathan. Jordan has the powers. I thought it was a good twist on the story. I didn't know anything about the comics, so I didn't know that Jonathan is supposed to have powers. I also knew that Jordan wasn't. They did tell me Jordan wasn't a comic book character. So in my mind, I just thought they took the Jonathan from the comics and kind of just split them between Jordan and Jonathan. Look, whatever ended up happening in the pilot, I think hopefully fans got their worthwhile story because you needed that. I think you needed it. If you had both kids dealing with powers at the same time, you wouldn't have been able to tell the story of one with, one without. They needed those storylines to balance each other out, and they needed Jonathan to develop it different than Jordan.
Yes.
People were complaining about how, I wish Jonathan had more time to develop his powers. I agree. I wish we had more time to flesh that out. In the perfect world where we had 8 seasons, I'm sure that would have been something that happened like season 7 all the way until 8. We would have had 2 seasons. Yeah. But it needed to happen no matter what in a different way than Jordan, because that's what we need to explore. Jonathan was always going to do it in a different way than Jordan. They're very different people. Yeah. That's my opinion. I'm an actor. I say the words. I don't admit it.
And we see a version of Jonathan with powers in season 2. Like we see that Bizarro.
We see John L.
So we do get that. But I think your character having it actually, I think, changes the whole storytelling because it's a character who's already going through a lot, and now he's having to deal with he's developing powers and he doesn't understand how to control it. And of course, Superman Clark is trying to help his son, but it's not connecting because he's not understanding, and it's really stressful on him. He's already dealing with high school situations. Now Jordan has to deal with this as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's beautiful. Just how they
all
do
right,
it,
man.
Yeah. Well, you got to head out.
I should. I'm so happy we got to talk.
Of course.
I hope it's not too chaotic where I am right now either.
Oh, no worries, man. I appreciate
good?
you chatting with me, man. I really
Likewise, man. I'm really happy we got to chat about the show. Always feel free to reach out.
Of course.
Sure, I'll be doing another little post-mortem when it all comes out on HBO Max as well in America. So,
of course, yeah, I'll definitely try to reach out. We can chat again, and all that. But I appreciate your time, man. I really do. Thank you.
Right back at you, man. All right.
Thank you.
Stay good out there in Michigan.
I will. Thank you so much, man. Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
See ya.